Welcome back from the break. If you are just tuning in here on KTN Home, this is Man Talk. And today evening, I am joined by Lawrence, Emmanuel, and Isaac. And we are discussing courtship. What are the discussions as a man you should have with your spouse before you decide to actually get married? And we had talked about family and boundaries just before the break, how you actually need to discuss with your partner before you get married, before you bring the two families together. How far are we going to be relating? How are we going to be mixing? What are the events we'll be going to? How much money can we contribute to this and this? You know, what are the rules for when somebody wants to come visit or when somebody wants to come stay over? It's small nitty-gritties like you've explained to me, but those boundaries can make it or break it when it comes to how you relate to the family. Yes. Now, just during the break, we were having a great discussion of how in Africa, we are having a problem of investing in ourselves and investing in that future marriage. And part of the conversation we were having is some of the things that you should do while courting before you get into marriage is definitely see an expert or a professional of some kind. Now, Isaac, I'm asking this maybe even for myself and also for the show.
Yes.
Premarital counseling, a lot of the time is done within the church setting. If you're a Christian, all our different churches have different programs, but you can also see a counseling psychologist like yourself, a psychologist professional who can also do premarital counseling for you. Now, I have found premarital counseling in the church, when I've talked to some of my cousins and friends that have gone through it, is a little, I don't know that I should call it misleading, or maybe it's a bit backwards. It's like when you do premarital. Yes.
If you look at it traditionally, the church will always look at things from a Bible to society first, instead of a society to Bible first, which is very wrong because if the main character in the Bible is Christ.
Yes.
And Christ always had a society to the word approach based on who he met. You know, he dealt with it according to that context.
Yeah.
And that's where, and I'm sure Isaac will tell us more about that. That's where the church gets it wrong. You have to understand, how is society operating today? These two people, what are their backgrounds? In what kind of societies have they been brought up? Then you craft, you know, a counseling session in and along those lines.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel it should be done.
That was actually my question. Is premarital counseling, does it have a guide, a step-by-step one that works across the board for everybody? Or do you think it's special because everybody's marriage is special?
You know, the reason as to why when you have a dental problem, you go and see a dentist and you don't go and see a gynecologist.
Right.
It's because you know your problem.
Exactly.
Right.
And you go for the right person. I'm a believer. I know there's what we call pastoral counseling.
Yes.
Within the context of the church,
Yes.
which is guided by the Bible, which is the constitution in spiritual matters.
True.
I have no problem with that. If you go for premarital counseling, you must choose what you want.
Okay.
What do you want? You want a professional who is going to help you from an holistic approach.
True.
Because as a professional, you look at all these aspects from the society, from you as an individual in terms of being aware of yourself, your personality, because different personalities have different interactions with people. Even what we call the genogram. Genogram simply meaning your birth, which your dad, what was happening, your grandfather, you, and all that. Those aspects are defined by a professional, like a counseling psychologist, not a pastor.
Right.
A pastor will guide you on the pastoral guidelines, and I have problem with that. It's okay. So let's mark what we need. Whenever you are courting, spend time, invest for premarital counseling by a professional.
Yes.
It will not cost you much. Even if it will go, for example, even 20, 50, how much is it compared to the much you spend for camera? For dinner,
Yes.
for
For
the
the
clothing,
video, makeup.
for the makeup, for the long queues of cars and all that kind of a thing. How much is it?
The bridal entourage.
Exactly. Even the venue.
Yeah.
You pay 50,000 for a nice place like this place.
Yeah.
And you wonder, why did you not pay for somebody to help you put things in place? Because talk about finances. Talk about fertility. Talk about issues of openness. Talk about your past. Issues that you have had. Talk about things like even your expectations. in the marriage.
Yes.
Talk about issues even of your past experiences in terms of sex. Because there are people who have been maybe in their past have been addicted to sex, and therefore they are coming in a relationship with a number of issues. They have baggages, and they are coming in. This person is fresh. This person already has a lot in the past.
Yeah.
So these people are not at the same level.
To unpack all
It becomes, yes, the issue of unpacking. That can only be done by a professional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, because if you try to do it yourselves, also it can be very heated and quite difficult.
Yes, you'll fight.
If you have a guide, which is what the psychologist is,
Yes.
then it's a lot more peaceful and you're likely to actually resolve.
Yes.
Now, I want us to play a little exercise. There was something very funny I saw on social media the other day, and it was a question of 3 words you believe would end a date immediately. There is no future at all with that person after they say that. So as a joke, I saw one person wrote, I support Manu, would end the date immediately, which is funny because I support Man United.
I support Manu.
Personally, it would. I'm an Arsenal fan.
You're an Arsenal fan, so it's over
Arsenal man.
completely.
Good.
So I want to know from you guys' perspective, from your own personal dating history, what has been one of the weirdest things or strangest things that you've ever experienced at a date, and you were like, hey, this one is a no-no. And maybe it was a red flag that you could help somebody else who's watching the show with. So we can start with you, Lauren.
I need not to impress someone.
Right.
If I'm looking at a point of having a serious relationship, some things you'll just know them because we are trying to build something. So I'll be open in the long run. But from the onset, you ask me how much I earn, it is a no for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even me, first date, if you ask me how much I earn, I'll just be like, what are we doing? Is this a business meeting?
Exactly.
I don't know what's going on.
Then on the first date, someone is they're already planning the number of children you guys need to have.
Oh, wow.
That one, hey, you know, for me, that is a person, there is a reality this person is running away from. And they are not giving me a chance to learn them more. They are trying to lock some things. There is a past they are running away from.
Yeah.
So to me, that one, they are treating the relationship as a rescue mission from themselves.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. That's amazing. It's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Emmanuel, for you?
I think mine, I'd like to generalize it.
Okay.
So that, you know, it's something that I've seen is very common. And it just goes down to the context of how self-aware is that person. What am I trying to ask? I cannot be, what he said, I cannot be at stage X in my life.
Okay.
And you're at stage Y. Not that I'm underplaying or trying to downplay you, but it comes to a point where it's called a meeting of minds. A union has to have a certain meeting of minds. And that's why I think they call a marriage a contract. And,
right.
you know, as in a contract, there has to be that upatanisho. So what am I simply trying to say? When I come to a place and the conversation we're having is so far-fetched from matters that I feel should be discussed on the first date. Like he said, finance, someone comes and tells you how much do you earn. No, use that time to get to know me. Get what I'm trying to say? And I should use
Find out what I do. Like when I wake up every day, what do I do? What is it? How much do I earn? Like what first?
Exactly. And the moment I find that you are not on the same, and that's something I do personally, because I tend to believe I'm self-aware, like I know what I want, I know what I don't want.
Right.
So if I do not see that in the opposite, I'll actually be wasting your time.
Yeah.
You won't, you know, and I don't want that to happen because from the word go, I'll see it as a put off. So for me, it all goes down to whenever you're sitting in that context, red flag, please date or please interact with someone who you feel you're more or less either on the same level or she is willing or he is willing to upgrade if they find maybe someone who's higher or lower to that particular level.
To meet you where you are.
Because without that meeting of minds,
Ngumu sana.
you'll be wasting your time.
Yeah.
2 things maybe they have not mentioned. One is spiritual dogma and realistic beliefs that you hold onto that will always disturb you.
True.
Second thing is about issues of family principles.
Yeah.
Somebody says, "Oh, you are a Kikuyu? It's a no. You know, my parents said." When you start talking about my parents said, it becomes a different issue altogether. The game changes.
The family, the goalposts.
The goalpost changes. So you have to go and refine and say, okay, I think the person that I was looking for is not this one.
Yeah.
because this person has to consort. Of course, other people will have issues like, okay, past relationships with some people that maybe probably you know, and you so and so.
Yeah.
Let me not be the second option.
Right.
After this has happened.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a lot of background checks. What I'm trying to understand, like when you go into these dates, you're simply trying to unravel more and more about
the person
who's seated on the opposite side of the table, so that you can now, and that's very key, you can now put it in a self-awareness kind of context.
Yeah.
Because it's pointless to receive a lot of information and not know how to process it and package it in the right way.
Right.
So that now I can come back to you and say, wow, our first date was, and that's another thing. Do you, on the second date, do you guys actually have a follow-up and keep it growing? Or do you just come and start back from square one?
That's a really good question,
Yeah.
because you should have a second date because the first date was good and you both want to meet again.
Exactly.
So it's a continuation of sorts.
There's something that he has repeatedly said, very important, self-awareness.
Yeah.
I say the greatest discovery is self-discovery.
True.
Being aware of yourself. It's only through that you can be able to connect with other people.
Right.
There are people today battling with issues of relationship. One relationship breaks, another one, another. 4 relationship breakdown. What is the problem? When we sit down with a therapist now, we realize, oh, it is because of my own upbringing. I've ended up becoming a person with this kind of an ego or this problem, and you're not aware about it. And then you will start blaming, oh, this girl, you see, she had this problem, or this girl had this problem, that girl had... No, 3 girls, it's not about them, it's about you.
Yeah.
If it's a lady at the same time,
Yes.
3, this man, look at yourself. Once you discover yourself, you can be able to realize, okay, I have this problem and I need to work on it.
Yeah.
Maybe you are domineering, maybe you have an extreme ego, maybe you have several issues that you need to work on. When you work on yourself, you can be able to connect with the other person in a good way.
Just to add on what Isaac is saying, is so true, because you realize that most of the people after a breakup, they don't take time to journal before they move on to the next relationship.
Right.
Because I need, if I've broken up with this lady, it doesn't mean that this lady was bad. If I'm realistic with myself, with the person in the mirror, I'll be able to discover that there was a place I was getting it wrong.
Equally so.
So that I can improve on to the next relationship.
Right.
Without me healing and taking time to heal, I will move on to this relationship and I will start bleeding on to this lady. And then this lady did not hurt me.
From rebound to rebound to rebound.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, talk about rebound and moving from one relationship to the
To
other.
another.
Let me ask you, one of the biggest challenge today is to heal.
Thank
you know,
you.
when you lose a relationship,
Yeah.
that leaves a very big mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we cope in the wrong way.
Mm.
I differ with Emmanuel. Then all of a sudden, tomorrow, I'm with another man who was the second in command or in the list.
Yeah.
And as a pastor,
Sometimes
There's
you're
the
called
deputy
even,
president.
you know, they're called the bench. It's usually a basketball bench. Yeah. And you're removing some
yes, so,
off the
so you
bench.
go and pick another person as a way of now getting a shoulder to lean on.
Yeah.
And in the process, you continue the relationship. From there, you go to another one. You are hurting after hurting after hurting.
Right.
So you're building up a lot of trauma.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of trauma in terms of relationship.
Yeah.
And these are the people that end up now getting into a lot of addictions as a way of covering up.
And they pull out guns. But
Yes.
they come to think
It's only
of
that I
it.
cannot mention examples
Yes.
even without mentioning names.
Yeah.
These are some of the key challenges that are disturbing our society today.
Yeah.
Funny, one thing that I would wish us to know, somebody who has been hurt is going to hurt someone.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
So
Very
if you
true.
have not been able to heal, please don't get into that relationship. You're going to hurt yourself and hurt someone else.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
heal. If you cannot heal on your own, instead of getting a friend, get a professional.
Right.
Yes.
I like that.
We need to put that professional seeking help and embed it in people's heads.
And then in a positive way. Over
Yeah.
the break we were chatting, and one of the things that stood out in our conversation to me was people need to know that going to therapy or going to counseling or even just going to talk to your pastor if there's a certain issue, it's not because you're at rock bottom. It's not because you're failing at something, like this is an exam and you have failed, so now you need to go see the teacher. No, sometimes it's just to help you get to the next stage or help you overcome an obstacle.
Yes.
So guys, therapy is not bad. Therapy is not for when you're failed. Therapy is not for when
Especially
your
men.
marriage is, yes. Therapy is not for when your marriage is falling. Therapy can just be what helps you get to the next stage.
Yeah.
Maybe your wife is the problem. Therapy is where she'll be told.
Yeah.
So you just need to we just need to be more open to it.
And therapy is not the bar.
Right.
With your boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or seated in a chama with your
investment
friends.
group.
Because they say, not that you're all blind, but you know, blind men cannot, or blind women cannot lead each other.
Right.
And I tend to feel your friends will always incline towards you instead of inclining towards, unless you have very good friends who will tell you and put you on the spot.
Yes.
So we have to understand, when it comes to matters, marriage and counseling, please, we're not talking about chama and boys club. Apana, we are talking about professional help, because that's why that person has been trained. They have that expertise.
You see, like, especially after breakup, most of the people we get to those clubs whereby we pity party.
Yeah.
We pity party and
everyone has to feel sorry for me. Everybody needs to tell me, Susan, the best way to get over a guy is to get under another one. No.
So we just need to be realistic enough. You know, one thing in my journey I've come to discover, powerful people can never lead anything. Why should I say so? You need to have someone who you are accountable to. Whereby, like today, Susie, it doesn't mean that you might be older than me,
right?
But just to keep me in check. So most of the marriages today, you get to a person, you are dating this person, and yet this person, you cannot, like, they don't have an authority figure, they don't have a person who they can be accountable to. So they are this superpower whereby they cannot lead you anywhere. So you try to discuss anything with them, they intimidate you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like in that setup of that couple, if you look at it, the guy was a bit doing well, so so the lady was kind of intimidated. You cannot initiate those kind of conversation. But in relationship, that is why I've always advised young people looking forward to getting into a relationship. Do not seek a man who they don't have even a pastor or their father they are accountable to. Because this man will hurt you and you'll take them nowhere.
That's very important, Manze.
Yeah.
That's very key.
That is actually a very big guidance help.
Yeah.
Like if somebody doesn't have somebody else they answer to, somebody else they need to explain themselves to, if they wild out in their life in whatever shape or form, then how will they be accountable to you or anything that they do to you? It's impossible.
Yeah, they really need to have, like, those are some of the serious conversations people need to have during the dating. It's not just to go there, eat ice cream and do all those kind of things and applying lipstick after every 2 seconds. You just need to sit there, ask serious questions. Who is your father figure? You know, all those kind of things. Look at them, how they treat even their parents.
Yeah.
Because it's a clear picture
How they'll treat you.
how they will treat
How
you.
they will treat you.
Human beings are naturally lazy.
True.
Human beings are naturally lazy. So the simple things are the things that we want to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you are lazy in a world that is complex, competitive, and ever-changing. The world of 3 C's. Competitive, complex, and ever-changing. So when you walk around in an easy way, just a lazy, lousy lady or a gentleman, just walking around without challenging himself or herself on what is ahead of them, they fall into a ditch. And you cannot help each other because you are just babies who have beards and their bodies have changed, but in their mind, they have not changed. So you need to mature up, get things in the right way, face the challenges, and prepare yourself, just like in army. Because we say in army, you have to be prepared for the worst, not for the best. That's the way you can be able to face marriage in the right direction. Remember, one of the greatest things that we are missing in the world today is people say, I need advice on this. And that's the difference between counseling and advice giving. Any layman can give you advice. But you need a professional help to explore what are your weaknesses, and as somebody said, to tell you the truth, that you can become a better person.
I like that. I want to ask, how much do you think little habits affect marriages? Maybe some of the things that you don't really realize your partner could have. So I'll give simple examples. Like there's people who, you know, the cupboards in the kitchen, awafungangi, like they'll open, get a mug, get a plate, get a glass, and they just leave them open. And maybe for Emmanuel, that drives him crazy. He'll be like, why can't you just close the cupboards? Numerous other habits, maybe hygiene, maybe even how they discuss with people, maybe how they communicate. There's some people who, when they arrive at work, they'll text you, they'll call you, they'll tell you, hey, I've reached. When they're leaving, they'll tell you, hey, I'm leaving. Some other person, when they arrive, what they're arriving, now they're consumed with what they're doing, not reminding their partner and all of that.
You know, there are people with some Okay, professionally we call them personal disorders.
Yes.
Like obsessive compulsive disorder.
Right.
They have to do some things in a certain way, including how they press the toothpaste.
Yes.
So when you do it wrong, you fight about that.
Yeah.
Then where you place your shoe, where you place your socks, everything, they are so orderly. So those small challenges will cause a fight in the family. So habits are very important. So knowing each other, spending more time to know that these are my weaknesses,
Yeah.
this is how can I correct them, becomes very critical.
True. Because but the question becomes, some habits like toothpaste, how will some things I tend to believe we'll get to know once we're in it.
Right.
But it's very, very important to understand that, and we have to be very honest to ourselves. Some things you only realize once you get there.
Yeah.
You get, but there are those things that you can ask, certain habits that you can ask in terms of mannerisms, what time do you wake up, or how do you, basic things that you can give you
a hint,
a
some
hint.
kind of
And
idea.
you see, for you to be able to have that checklist, I tend to believe the professionals are the ones who would
Who
be
will
able
help
to tell
you,
because
that's
they
true.
have experience.
What is to be done? You may not change habits,
But
characters, your behaviors. You may not, but being aware that I have this weakness, and your pattern, being aware that this so and so has this weakness, you are able to connect well. Thank you. No one in this world is perfect.
Of course.
All of us have our own weaknesses
Yeah.
and habits.
Yeah.
So number one, you yourself
Yeah.
know that you have this habit. Let your also partner know that I have this habit, and then together see how can we blend each other with those habits. Furthermore, the love between you should be stronger than those habits.
I agree.
If you are going to fight because of things like order, they think like, this is minor. How strong is your relationship?
Right.
So let that love be stronger than those habits, but be aware that this person has this problem.
Yeah.
Awareness.
Is the
Awareness.
most important.
But during dating, you see most of the people, they are blinded with the red roses till they miss the red flags. Because you realize...
Rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, because you realize, truth be told, even before someone performs anything in a relationship, there were red flags. But people tend to ignore.
Yeah.
Like, if this lady was alive today, you ask her that what happened, they will tell you that this guy has been threatening me, but she used to, she did not come out to speak.
There'll be some
Yeah.
signs.
So no one can just wake up from nowhere and they do something. They have been like giving the signals, but we tend to ignore. So we just need to be very sensitive, because this is a place you are committing your life.
Yeah.
So a relationship needs not to be on the foundation of feelings, but commitment. What am I signing up for? Because I'm tired of people getting into relationship as if they're signing those warranties.
Yeah.
Whereby people get the paper, they just sign without reading it.
Yeah.
You go there, you
don't
buy a
look at the
camera.
terms and
you
conditions.
you just sign. So it's so dangerous. You need to know what you are signing up for.
I like it. I think also that is where people like Isaac really come in,
Yeah.
because when you have the rose-colored glasses, when everything this person does is beautiful and it's amazing, trust
And
me.
we will do that because I like you.
Yeah. That's
Feelings,
that's wonderful.
impulses.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know now, from a psychologist's perspective, before you eat your 25th birthday, your brain has not yet fully developed.
Yes.
Sure.
And therefore, we say people 25 and below move by what they feel, how they, and they are
Infatuations.
they act before they think.
Think.
After 25, you start thinking before you act. So when you are talking about relationships,
Yeah.
you are moved by how do I feel? Oh, this guy is so charming. Or
Right.
he
Six
made me
pack.
feel like a lady. Yes. And then you get to marriage. Those are feelings. Surprisingly, after you get married and you are now aging, it's totally different things. You do not see the facts.
Aging.
Because you are moved by what made you to get the relationship,
Yeah.
the feelings,
Yeah.
and not the facts.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this has been an amazing episode. I feel like I've learned so much. But before I let these gentlemen go, I want them to tell you guys where you can reach them, what they are doing, if they have any upcoming projects or events, then you can know exactly how to get to them. So we'll start, we'll be talking about professionals a lot and psychologists a lot. So I will start off with the counseling psychologist on the panel, Isaac.
Well, you can get in touch with me. I'm a counseling psychologist and author, but for now I'm basically concentrating in helping people to become better in their families and in their mental health, which is a great challenge today. So through Greatness Assured, you can get in touch with me through 07000060859. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Emmanuel. Basically, I'm a brand consultant, but I'm very big on matters men and young men, because I feel It's a very big gap that's lacking in society. And we need to shape the men, and not to sound chauvinistic, because a man who has his head screwed up well on his shoulders will be able to lead society better. Because naturally, we are looked up to as leaders.
That's true.
Not to demean women in any way, but that's just how nature has placed it, and that's how society has placed it. And you can get me on my handles. I'm always open to a conversation. Bibu Gwambo across all social media channels. If you want to reach me on email, it's edgwambo@gmail.com. Always open and available for conversation.
You said Bimbu?
B-I-B-U, Gwambo.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Lawrence?
One thing you need to understand that relationship is a commitment, and before you commit into it, do not let any person push a relationship down your throat. Be aware of what you are signing up for, and believe me, you do not compare your relationship with others, because the moment you compare your relationship with others, you become bitter. But you can reach me on social media, Facebook, that is Alan Lawrence, Instagram Alan_320. Then you can subscribe to my channel, you get some amazing content there. Also, you can order my books, you can just converse with me inbox.
Yeah, and you hook yourself up with some knowledge, all right, guys? So we have somebody who can inspire you and coach you through life. We have a brand consultant who can help your personal brand or your company brand all spruce. And we have Isaac, who will help you sort out your inner issues, your past traumas, so that you can move forward as a better gentleman or as a better woman. Thank you so much for watching Man Talk. We are going to be back next week, same time, same place, right here on KTN Home. Use the hashtag Man Talk and the hashtag KTN Life and Style if you want to continue conversing with us. Follow them on all their platforms. Please reach out to them with more questions. They will be happy to help you. Reach out to them for business as well. They will be happy to help you as well. See you guys next week, same place. Bye.